Hi everybody and welcome to Kurtski's Garage. I'm Kurt and it's my garage, so there we are. Welcome to a very special series of episodes of Kurtski's Garage where I take you along to New Zealand. Yeah, myself and my fiance basically went to New Zealand as our honeymoon before the wedding. It was a trip that she had been wanting to do for years, and the opportunity just, well, it presented itself, so you jump on these things. So we flew from Toronto, laying over at LAX, Los Angeles, then flying, it was about 12 hours to Auckland. And what do we do when we get there? We jump on a regional flight to go from Auckland in the North Island of New Zealand to Queenstown in the South Island, sort of in the, well, not quite midway, a little bit further down south. And our first objective was to do our overnight cruise of the Milford Sound. So we drove from Queenstown to a small town called Te Anau. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's the closest town before you get on Highway 94, the only road that goes in and out of Milford Sound. And what do you get when you go there? Well, basically it terminates at the small cruising port where you depart on a ship and you do your cruise of the Sound and come back. You've got pretty fair amount of parking, some basic accommodations, lodges, the restaurants and a gift shop, that kind of thing. But really it's taking you to the spot where you get on your boat to do your cruise. The roads are wonderful everywhere in New Zealand, I can tell you that. The vistas are incredible, and what you're going to see edited down from a couple of hours of filming, well, no, maybe not quite that much. You're going to see the actual drive or the highlights of the drive into 94, and then we immediately jump on to our cruise ship. It's a smaller vessel, about 20 guests maximum, and you do a cruise from that drop-off point all the way out to the Tasman Sea and back. So what I show you is segments from probably the first hour and a half of the cruise, because really coming back you're seeing more or less the same thing. And then we parked in a bay, dropped the hook in the bay, stayed there for the night, enjoyed a wonderful dinner, breakfast the next morning, and then we were back at the port. So didn't show any of that, but I think what I do show, you'll get a really good sense of what the Sound looks like. And the fact it was an overcast and rainy day just opened up different vistas with waterfalls, and oh, it's amazing. You'll see. So I do present to you the Roads of New Zealand special. First stop, Milford Sound, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much. Welcome to the jet lag edition of Kurtski's Garage. I'm Kurt, and we are in New Zealand. Hey, I bet you weren't expecting that one. We are currently on Highway 94 heading to Milford Sound, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Environmentally protected, very beautiful, and we are going to give you some video footage of that. So this is a very interesting road. I'm going to turn the camera around momentarily. The vistas, they're absolutely stunning. The mountain ranges are incredible. I could understand why the legendary likes of Ansel Adams and whatnot were drawn to taking pictures of mountains. He was in Yosemite National Park for the most part. I'm sure he would have been very impressed with these views as well. So we are going to get some footage of this particular drive on 94 heading into Milford Sound, and then you are going to see the Sound. We're there for a couple of days, and we've got a lot of driving to do in the South Island. So without further ado, we're going to give you a little bit of road footage. We'll cut in and out when things get interesting, but just to give you the flavor of what driving in New Zealand is like. And yes, we are on the left-hand side of the road. So check this out. So fun fact, the vehicle that we've rented for this particular portion of the journey is a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. I assume it's got some sort of 4-cylinder engine, but it's a mild hybrid and it works very nicely, pure electric in the city, and the internal combustion engine kicks on when you need it. So you get a really nice balance of clean car when you want it. And I'm noticing the folks in New Zealand are quite protective of their environment. Oh, you got to see this. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty gorgeous here. Anyway, the vehicle, it's giving us good fuel mileage. It's comfortable, no complaints. I understand why these are incredibly popular. Is it an enthusiast vehicle? Absolutely not. Just get that thought out of your head. But it's doing everything that we need it to do, and it just gets out of its own way. The tech is manageable, and it's a reasonably comfortable ride. So, yep, I understand why they're incredibly popular. And as long as it continues to get out of its own way and allows us to enjoy the ride, then we're going to be in good shape. So to that effect, I'm going to give you another look at this particular vista before the road disappears on us, and then well, just join us later. So we stopped at a Lake Gunn on Highway 94. We're closing in on Milford Sound, and I simply wanted to share this with you because, well, we're out of the car for one, so we can get some better footage. But the beauty here is really, really something. And I'm not just talking about Mrs. Kurtski here either. Have a look at this. Pretty impressive. Okay, we're gonna get back in the car and head to Milford Sound. We'll be there shortly. Just had to show you some more fun roads as we continue on Highway 94 towards Milford Sound. It's worth noting that this is the only road in and out to get to Milford Sound. And like many roads, which in Canada we would consider this to be a B road, speed limit 70 or 80 kilometers an hour, they're marked at 100. Not the stretch we just went through. That was knocked down to 45 kilometers an hour, or I guess that would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 miles an hour, maybe a little bit more. Not so quick on my metric to imperial conversions, but point being, the speed limit for these types of roads is pretty generous, and the locals have no problem hustling their vehicles on them. But for us, first timers on this road, we're not flying. We're obeying the speed limits and being good tourists, aren't we, Mrs. Kurtski?
Yes. No accidents.
No accidents. This is very National Geographic. It's worth noting here that gas is rather expensive. It's approximately, in terms of just nominal value, about double what we pay in Canada. Now, the exchange rate is slightly favorable to the Canadian dollar. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I bought 3,000 New Zealand dollars and it cost me close to 2,700 Canadian dollars. So it's close, but there is a slight favor. So anyway, bottom line, as a result of gas being very expensive, most vehicles are compact to subcompact, very fuel efficient. I have seen some mid-sized sedans. I haven't seen any large sedans. The Toyota Hilux trucks are very popular. I guess that would be similar, somewhere between Tacoma and Tundra, I believe, in terms of size. Okay, well, we just have a one-way, or sort of a restricted lane here, so we're going kind of slow through it. No problem, just the way it is. As I said, it's one road getting through this, and there is, well, it's kind of an honor system, so we get to go first, which is nice. Oh, check this out. Wow. It's pretty stunning. Anyway, I was continuing on about small inefficient cars. Well, there was one pleasant surprise to that we saw a couple of days ago in Queenstown, again, South Island of New Zealand. A nice old G-Wagon, a G55, supercharged 5.5 liter V8, and I guarantee that does not return much more than 9 or 10 miles to the gallon. So I guess if you can afford to run one, hey, good for you. You're doing something right, I guess. At any rate, I'm going to sign off again for the moment, and I'm going to leave you with the next vista that's coming up. Okay, next adventure on Highway 94 to Milford Sound is the Homer Tunnel. Not Homer's and not that Homer. At least I don't think so. So I will show you the entrance, but you've got to check out what this tunnel is carved into. And the tunnel entrance is right over there. It's quite a long traffic light, apparently. Can be up to 15 minutes, so we may be stuck here for a while. But while here, I just wanted to share more of the truly remarkable vistas.
as they were ripping their way through the valley, creating what is today known as the Lake Formation. And it's left behind as the glaciers have pushed their way through, and they've been wonderful and then pulled those back up against the mountainside, creating the scar, the ability to chew their food. So how they've adapted is simply by swallow their fish whole or a chunk. Now let me stop the swallow and take it to the swallow. Then the period of time, what
Well, if you look over the end, it's right down. And that's big. Once you cross
smaller than Niagara Falls, and it's about 6 times smaller than we are long. So a lot of rainfall coming down today, but when it's not raining, predominantly caused by the glacier. Now, for those of you who are interested, that nose on up they actually say that the bay and the water is fairly full. And even though you wake up looking as fairly younger. Not that any of you guys have a fun either, but I'm just saying, that's how happy as they will maintain their baby regularly.